So today we're going to take a look at what's going to happen if the UK tries to form an empire in 2025. This video is going to be very unrealistic. All the events that are going to happen are purely fictional. If you do enjoy mapping videos, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also subscribe to the second channel where I'm uploading Age of History 3 videos. But yeah, now let's get right into the video. And as we can see here, the UK in the modern day is a pretty strong country. Historically, they've remained a strong country, so it wouldn't be that big of an issue for these guys to form an empire. Because they already have a pretty good military, we can see that they start things off with declaring war on Ireland because they can do that. Also, major alliances like NATO, CSTO, the EU or the UN, they do not exist in my videos. If they would exist, they would not let these countries to expand. So yeah, keep that in mind. We can see that the UK's troops were already stationed on the border and now they start to push into Ireland. Their main goal was to get to the capital city of Dublin. They get to the capital city and they take it with relative ease because they had a far better military than these guys. They also push in from here, securing the northern regions of Ireland. But pretty much after losing their capital city, the morale amongst the soldiers is at its all-time lowest. The UK continues its push down south, securing the Irish coastline and taking city after city. But eventually, the remaining army of Ireland, yeah, they couldn't fight back, so they go ahead and surrender. This was a decisive victory for the UK. Of course, we all know that they were going to start off like this, so yeah, in a peace negotiation, we can see that all of Ireland got completely annexed by the UK, or what we're now going to call the British Empire, which has just been revived now. And the British Empire now is going to focus on the other countries since they have secured this region for themselves. The Royal Navy is already pretty good, pretty formidable, so yeah, it's not going to be that big of a deal for these guys to go against countries and to invade them. And after the invasion of Ireland, we can see that the UK now turns their focus up north, and up north is a country called Iceland. They want control over Iceland. I guess they're forming a belt around here, I don't know. But yeah, they do go ahead and declare war on Ireland. This is purely for expansion purposes. So yeah, now let's see. So yeah, we can see that the UK's navy now has arrived on the coast of Iceland. And yeah, they make a naval landing in the western parts of Iceland and they start to push in. Eventually, we can see that they take control of the capital city. There are no significant remaining parts of Iceland, so the remaining parts surrender. And again, we can see that all of Iceland got completely annexed by the British Empire. This was a minor military campaign, more of like a side quest for these guys. But yeah, during this time, the UK was talking to some of these European countries. Actually, they were convincing some of these European countries to form a coalition against one country, which they're going to be fighting in a war to carve up some land for themselves. But it's just the beginning of the talks. The coalition is not going to happen right now. But yeah, the UK first wants to secure its position in Europe. Then they might go colonization mode. But for now, they want to secure their position in Europe. And now to continue their expansion journey, we can see that they declare war on Denmark, which technically also means this. Of course, because the UK's navy is way better, no one is able to stop them right now. We can see that they make a naval landing in the western parts of Denmark. And as of right now, the entire Danish army is concentrated right here. The UK uses this to their advantage as they go around here and they make a naval landing near Copenhagen, eventually taking the Danish capital city. And yeah, they secure these regions and now they start to push in. This Danish army, fearing a complete encirclement, goes ahead and surrenders. This was another decisive victory for the UK, and because they won this war, they get to keep Greenland, which makes their land area very huge because this is a complete annexation of Greenland. But yeah, the coalition talks are still going on. Every day the UK is trying to convince these countries to form that coalition. So yeah, that is going on. But now after taking out all these three countries, we can see that the UK finally wants to go colonization mode again. And for that, we can see that their navy goes down and they had eventual plans to invade a country here. That country is going to be South Africa. I guess they want their colony back, or I don't know, but yeah, they do declare war on South Africa. The Royal Navy now has arrived on the coast of South Africa and they make a naval landing down here. South Africans are unable to push these guys back because they are way stronger. In this very initial push, the South Africans lost their capital city of Cape Town. They now continue their push up. They take all of these coastal regions and they continue their push in, pushing pushing back the South Africans. They make a spearhead up connecting to Eswatini, and then from here they go up again and they cut South Africa in two parts. This part surrenders, and yeah, the remaining parts could also not fight these guys back, so they go ahead and surrender. But the UK was not going to completely annex South Africa. We can see that all of the western parts of South Africa were completely annexed. The remaining country of South Africa is now a vassal state to the British Empire. Yeah, after taking all of them resources from South Africa, which also include, I guess, military resources, the UK now finally is ready for that coalition. I know this is very unrealistic, but the UK was able to convince some of these countries to declare war on France. The UK goes first and they declare war on France, followed by Germany and Spain, as well as the Italians. And things are really not looking good for France. Yeah, they were unprepared, and I really don't know if they're going to be able to win this. So let's see. We can see that starting off, the Germans now push into France, securing this region. The French were caught off guard, so they couldn't fight back. We can see that the Italians also start to push in, securing the southern parts of France. They were also able to take Corsica. We can see that the Royal Navy also comes into action as they make a naval landing in Brittany, securing the entire region. And last but not least, the Spanish also start their minor offensive down here, and things are not looking good for France. The UK also makes a naval landing in Normandy. They secure all of these regions. The Germans also continue their push. I guess they're eventually trying to meet up with the Brits. The Italians also continue their push in, and the Spanish and the Italians were able to meet up, cutting off the French from the Mediterranean Sea. And both these countries combine their forces and they start to push up. Eventually we can see that the British forces now push up and they meet up with the troops in Normandy. The Germans go all in and they get dangerously close to Paris. They also meet up with the Brits, and we can see that the Italians as well as the Spanish now push up, meeting up with the Germans. And now all of these troops have met up. They make a plan. This plan is to take Paris. And yeah, all of these troops combine their forces. They go up here, and we can see that a combined force from the UK, Spain, Germany, and Italy all come here. And this combined army now starts to push down, with their main goal being the capture of the capital city, which these guys do so successfully. The French were unable to push them back. So yeah, Paris kind of fell. These troops continue their push. Now after losing their capital city, the morale amongst the French soldiers is at its all-time lowest. These troops combined make a spearhead down south, cutting France into two parts. And yeah, this whole invasion took years, maybe even decades. But eventually, the eastern half surrenders. The western half, after realizing that they can't win this war, they too go ahead and surrender. And that's how this coalition ends. So yeah, now let's take a look at a peace negotiation here. And yeah, this kind of happened. We can see that the Spanish took all of these parts. The Italians now control all of these regions. Germans didn't get too much, but the UK got most of France. The remaining country is now also a vassal state. The UK now is also in control of all the French territories. So yeah, good for these guys. We can see that now instead of invading, the UK sends out ultimatums to the Benelux countries, basically demanding their annexation, which of course these guys don't accept. Well, Belgium and Luxembourg accept, but not the Netherlands. And this whole thing happened after years of this invasion. The UK has rebuilt its army after all the chaos that happened in France. And because the Dutch did not accept the ultimatum, we can see that the UK declares war on the Netherlands. And yeah, they had no chance of winning. I'm sorry, Dutch people, but the UK is just too strong now. And now we can see that the UK is also in control of the Benelux region. Things are going great for these guys. But again, they want their old colonies back. This time, again, they're going to be sending ultimatums. Pretty funny, but they send an ultimatum to Australia as well as New Zealand. Of course, Australia did not accept the ultimatum, but New Zealand did kind of accept the ultimatum. However, when the UK declares war on Australia, and when they see their navy pretty much being present in this entire region, and after Australia realizes that they've been blockaded from all sides, yeah, they don't accept the ultimatum, but they do kind of become a vassal state to the British Empire. So this is kind of like a revival of the British Empire itself. In real life, the US would never allow any of this to happen. But yeah, this is happening. So, and to finish things off, we can see that some countries kind of want to become the vassals of the British Empire, because I guess these guys were offering some good stuff. So yeah, we can see that countries like Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, as well as South Sudan, yeah, all of these African countries, they become a part of the British Empire again, indirectly, but it's not like these guys have to pay a tribute. They just become vassals, half controlled by the British. So yeah, but I guess that this is the British Empire at its peak. So this is going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me me what you guys want to see in the future, and thank you for watching.